Hi everyone and welcome. I'm so excited. Today we have Karen Mc Dermott, the award-winning author and publisher. She has a number of projects and businesses and books that she's working on currently, and I'm so delighted to introduce you to her. Karen, welcome.
Hi everyone. Hi Peace. How are you going?
I'm really good. I'm really good. So I've got
my black bags. I've just finished Nano. No sleep.
so you've been writing for all of November.
Yes. I love doing it.
So tell me about, well, let's start with that. Tell me about NaNoWriMo, what it means, how it works.
Yeah, well, it's how I started writing. I wrote my first novel, The Visitor, during NaNoWriMo in 2010, breastfeeding my 4-week-old, my fourth child, and that was my first book. And that is the book that led me into becoming a publisher. So, and I had a novel I needed to write this month, and so I've been head down doing it, and I finished this morning.
Yay!
But I have no sleep.
Yeah. So that was a fiction book, a novel?
Yes. I've just finished. It's a novel and it's coming out in January.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That is amazing. Because you've also just recently published a book, which is called Mindful Magic.
Yes, it's my non-fiction book. I get asked so many times, how do I do it, and how am I always so positive, and how I can make magic happen in my life, like I'm a mum of 6, and I'm very much a hands-on mum of 6 as well. So I'm always, I'm the one who organizes our household, I'm the one who brings the kids to school, picks them up, and those are my non-negotiables. I love doing that. So I organize my business around that, and I'm lucky that as my business has evolved, the people around have come around me to support that happening as I evolve along. Serenity Press is growing, Making Magic Happen Academy is growing, and I'm writing more as well. So I'm happy doing that.
Fantastic. And can you tell us a bit more about the book? Because Mindful Magic is the title. It gives us a little bit of a clue of what it's about, but can you explain to us what it's about?
Yeah, well, I've studied the law of attraction, very much so, and I've applied it to my life for over 5 years now, and I never really talked about it very much, but I test it all the time. I use mindfulness in my parenting, in my business, and when you capture the essence of being mindful, you can make amazing things happen in your life just by focusing your mind on a positive way on the thing. If you want to focus negatively, you can have all the negativity you want, but if you focus on things with loving intention, things grow really fast and really beautifully if you do that. And I do that just, it's a natural thing that I'm really gifted. It's a gift from my parents that I just pursue everything with loving intention. And people want to be a part of that and will support you on your journey. And because you give back, your energy gives back, and you're attracting amazing things your way. So a lot of this book is about being mindful, and a lot of it is it's a conversational tone. So I'm having a conversation with the reader and sharing my experiences of how I've tested each aspect of the book. And in the book, there's 6 sections, and then there's articles at the end. But in each of the 6 sections, there's 3 main areas. Then there's an exercise. And throughout the book, there are the black pages with nice writing on them are quotes, and the white pages are affirmations. Because even if you're not thinking it, you can help yourself feel it by using affirmations to initiate a feeling. So if you need to feel something, you can trick your brain into making you feel something. And it's very powerful because, we have our bad days and stuff, but if you press the reset button, and using affirmations and gratitude is the fastest way to do that, I find.
Fantastic.
Okay.
So, I've gone a little. So your new book, Mindful Magic, that's just one of the many things that you're doing. Can you talk to us about publishing? Because you've been doing publishing for a number of years now, and I guess we met you through publishing when you were getting Serenity Press up and going and established. Yeah. So can you tell us about?
Yeah, Serenity Press was starting to gain a little momentum, but I was just a mum at home in an office when I met you guys in 2015. But I had been busy building foundations and having lots of babies, so I was in a good space then. So I remember one of the things at the 2015 conference was I wrote down "no more babies," and I did. I haven't had any babies, so I can focus on nurturing my family and growing my business. And Serenity Press has grown so much. Like in between 2015 and 2016, we introduced our retreats as well, and like that was huge. We've gained momentum with attracting amazing authors, and we've transitioned into a traditional publishing press from being a self-publishing press. So that has been that was a huge year for us, and that was the year that I won the Osmompreneur Award. So that was just like, oh yay! That would just like capped it all off. It was an affirmation that totally I'm growing in the right way. And it was by being connected with you guys and knowing what I needed to do to step up to that level that made that happen. So from that, we've went on ahead to find our niche in Serenity Press, which is fairy tales. And our big book coming out now in December as a special edition and in March in trade is Vasilisa the Wise. This book is being talked about across the globe. It's amazing. And Kate's amazing. And Lorena's illustrations are just to die for. And to think that this book has come to be because of a tweet. It was a tweet. Kate Forsyth tweeted that she had a collection of fairy tale story retellings, and Monique seen it, and Monique said, she asked, would any publishers like to publish it? And Monique said, we might. And it was just from a tweet. So it's by being out there, and time and circumstance align, magic happens. And then we collaborate with Lorena. This book is now being produced, and it's going to be up for a lot of awards and things this year. It's just amazing, and it was meant to be. And from that, we now have a series of books coming on. So we found our niche because of our growth. We wouldn't have found it at the beginning. It's been a journey to it. Do you know what I mean? So it's just, that way as well. So then to Sarah, because I'm very much a loyal person, that to service my self-publishing clients who published through Serenity Press, I created the Making Magic Happen Academy so that I can still help people, because that's my passion, that's my why. That was why I started publishing, was to help people get published and feed people information. And, because my knowledge I've accumulated over the years, and that was my why, because I'm really passionate about that. So then I created the Making Magic Happen Academy that fused publishing, but also the law of attraction, because it takes a lot to become more aware and mindful, helps you do things faster. So I kind of educate people in my kind of line of thinking as well.
Now, Karen, you've talked about how your niche is different. You found your niche and that's evolved over time. Yes. But as well as that, I think that Serenity Press is very different from most traditional publishers. So what do you think is that difference for you? What is it that makes you different from other publishers that are out there? And I know that you had an experience with publishing as well. So can you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, for sure. Well, we always said the Serenity Press is a publisher with heart. And we are 100%. Now, we've got to the stage that we cannot publish everybody's book that comes to us, but we try to support emerging authors as much as we can. So Monique's amazing at finding, seeing talent in people. So then we created a scenario where every year we have an anthology that people will submit to our brief, and then we will choose 10 people out of that to then go into an anthology that will be published, and then we pull each one then out of it about 6 months later and create novelettes. So it's a really good platform for emerging authors to you know, to be discovered on. And that initially is for romance. So it's like love swept romance now, not the 50 Shades type. It's it's all about the loving relationship and connection and the story of how people come together. And I cannot believe the stories that have been written and the amazing talent that has come out of creating this opportunity for emerging authors, because people then anticipate the launch. And we started off, our first one was Rocky Romance, and we only had 6 submissions. And one was from me and one was from Monique. So we only had a few, you know, people in there, but on our launch day, we made front page news of the newspaper. That also promoted the book fair we were launching at. That also gave us a connection to an amazing author called Anna Jacobs, who's 80 years old and has published 70 books. And she only started writing in her 50s. So whenever you meet people like that, you're going, oh my goodness. And then whenever we decided to do Writing the Dream, we had asked Anna, would she like to be part of it? And of course, she's got a busy schedule. But on the day of the last day for submission, she sent you an email and said, bet you didn't expect this, Karen. And she had written for our book. And I was like, wow, that's amazing. And we had so many amazing authors be part of that. So that helped us grow again and get our name out there. And like these authors took time out of their busy schedule to be part of our journey. So because they know that we're doing good things for authors that are trying to get their foot on the ladder. So we're now helping emerging authors. So that's people who have started to create an author profile, who are kind of living life as an author. Through that. And for people who are just aspiring and just learning, I have my academy where I guide people and mentor people very much in there as well.
Well, fantastic. We've got Jeanette here as well, who says hello.
I love it.
And so you have a collaboration with Jeanette as well, don't you? Can you tell us a bit about how that works?
Yeah. Oh, I can't wait to tell you. We have Rose Weaver Books, and Rose Weaver Books is very much heart-centered as well. And we have collaborated on 4 books now. So we have got Australian Animal Walkabout, we've got Irish Dancing Girl, we've got Roly Poly Rainbow Princess, and I'm launching Bumblebee Rock Around the Clock on Sunday at the book fair. So that's my children's book author hat that I will be wearing on Sunday morning at the Rockingham Book Fair. Wish you were there, Jeanette. And Jeanette is but through our collaboration, we're able to also help other people, because we've created the scenario that I can help publish children's books and Jeanette can illustrate them. So we've created the scenario that Rose Weaver will be able to do that. We offer publishing deals through there. So I have all the publishing know-how, and Jeanette has this amazing artist talent. It's amazing. It's about helping others. If I hadn't have got the support and guidance and help, and people sharing their knowledge along the way, then I wouldn't have evolved to where I am. So it's all about giving back along the way, I feel.
Fantastic. And we've got Jeanette here. Who else is tuning in? I'd love to see if you could tell us where you're from, and especially if you've got questions for Karen. So if you have a book that you want to write, or that you've written and you're ready to publish, and you've got questions about next steps, now is the perfect opportunity for you to jump on while I've got Karen right here. Yay. And ask your questions. So please use the comments section, and we will ask those questions for you live.
Awesome.
So Karen, you've got so much going on. You have 6 children.
Yeah.
How do you do it?
Well, it's because I have an amazing support network. Whenever I started out, I did every aspect on my own. Everything. I know how to, I know every aspect of publishing. But now a lot of it is outsourced. So I just manage it and just, delegate to the people that do amazing work. So I've created more space around me. And it was funny because whenever I was I read Do Less, Be More by Susan Pierce, of course. It created an aha moment for me where I thought, how can I help more people? Instead of doing all of the work or the high cost of sometimes delegating. And so then the academy was born. So the academy is where I just pop in and answer questions and do Facebook Lives. And I've just done a Facebook Live in there this morning about circulating and distributing children's books, because we were lucky enough to secure a Scholastic contract last week for in Serenity Press. So that means that our book, Vasilisa, is going out into over 2,000 schools in March. So that is, can you imagine the knock-on effect of that? That means that this book will get out into homes and people will know about us as well. So that was a huge, huge deal for us, and we got it, and which is really, really cool. We want to shout it, but I share it with you guys.
Yeah. Oh, congratulations. And as well as that, earlier this year, you were on Virgin flights, is that right? Or was it Qantas? One of the airlines featured your book. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, for sure. We collaborated with KinderGo, and they had a contract. It was by chance as well. I seen a comment that somebody had made that said that their books were going on to Virgin Airlines, and I was like, oh, okay, that would be really, really cool. So I done a bit of research to find out who that was through, and initiated a conversation with Amy at KinderGo, and she has developed an app that Virgin took up on, and it's on flight. It's on the in-flight entertainment. So our books went on in-flight entertainment in August. So August was when we were over at the conference with you guys. So flying back with our award in business class, we were there and with our books, and it was just like a perfect opportunity. Again, everything aligned for that to happen, and it was so much fun, and we're so proud to see our books being read. And there was actually a child on the plane was actually reading one of the books whenever we were there, so we got that opportunity to take a picture of that as well. It was really cool. It's about taking advantage of every opportunity that comes along if it's right for your bigger, your bigger picture.
And when it comes to taking opportunities, how do you know which ones to take and which ones to let go? Like, is there a framework that you have? Or
I'm writing a book about this at the moment.
How do you do it?
Yeah, it's called The Power of Knowing. And when you connect into that power of knowing, that is your instinct, but that if you are tapped into that, then you will know instinctively and instantly. If you have to stop and think about it, well, then it's probably a no. You will know straight away whenever you have that feeling that is aligned with you and your vision. Your mind comes into play as well. Of course, it's not just a knowing thing, but you will just, without any doubt, know that is right. And I'm very much, I can make instant decisions. If I have to think about it, then it's probably going to be a no. But I will just make an instant decision, and it's worked for me so far. There have been a few times where I'm like, oh, okay, and I'll go and I'll test it, and then I have to pull back from it because it's not aligned with me. But if you learn how to tap into that knowing and just trust it, it works for your greater good 100% of the time. So you can be guaranteed that you're living your purpose if you follow that.
Yeah, fantastic. That's great advice. The power of knowing.
Your power of knowing, yes. And I'm actually interviewing a lot of people over the next year who are successful and who to know the knowing. And it's funny because a few people I've interviewed already have said, I call it a knowing as well. And I don't know anybody else that calls it a knowing. And it's funny piece because a knowing is not a thinking thing. It's a feeling thing. You just know. You will just know 100%, and you can't probably explain how you know, but you will just know that is right for you, and then it will be revealed as you move forward and trust in the process. And you'll probably have to be very brave as well to trust in that. And people will say, but why are you doing that? And it may seem irrational and like a really big step, but you just have this feeling that you know that you have to do it, and you go with it, and then you can answer those questions whenever you succeed. See, I told you. I just knew I had to do this. It's just the way it goes.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I'm looking for questions here. We haven't got any through yet, but I know that you have a copy of Mindful Magic to give away today, and I would love to be able to give that to somebody who's written an awesome question. So please, if you're watching, think of a great question that you can ask Karen. It can be about the law of attraction. It can be about writing. It can be about publishing. It can be about anything. She's pretty knowledgeable. It can be about how she does everything that she does and creates an incredible
questions, life questions.
Come up with a question.
I'm looking for a copy of
ask the big life questions. She's here. So put a question in, because we'd love to give out a copy of Mindful Magic to someone today. That would be really fun.
I'm looking around
now. If you've got a copy on hand to show us.
Yeah, I have one. I had one in front of me, but it's not. It's in my box. I'll grab one in a minute.
Now, I asked a question the other day in the Mompreneur Network. Yes. How do you find the time to write a book? Like, when you have this goal of a big project like that, which is going to take a considerable amount of time from start to finish and all the editing and putting it together, when you're so busy with everything else you're doing, how do you find the time to write a book? So what would your advice be?
Right. So the first thing is, and you will know this piece, is setting the intention. Right? It's just like you would set any business goal, you set the intention. And then once you set the intention, you create the space to allow it to happen. For me, my time for writing is first thing in the morning. And it works for me really well, because I get up before my kids. I get up at 5 o'clock at the latest. I start my day, and we all know that people who get up at 5 o'clock rule the world. So I get up at 5 o'clock, and I have like a glass of water or coffee or whatever I need to do. And I automatically go straight to my computer, switch it on, even though I'm feeling really tired, switch it on. But once my brain starts to, it just channels right out of me. And because I stop then at 6:30, 7 o'clock to start the crazy school thing, and because I do it consistently every day, my body is used to it, and it gets ready. And during the day, what I'm going to write the next day is accumulating in my subconscious, so that whenever I do sit down, it's already there, just waiting to be released. And that is something that I have found from the first time I did Nano in 2010. Like 2 days before Nano, I did not even know it existed. I had an epiphany moment when I wrote what I had to write about, and I just wrote down 20 possible chapters that this book could be about, and then I let the characters take their own way. So that's writing in fictional. When I write for non-fiction, you're coming from a knowledge base, and I find that writing in a conversational tone and having a blogging mindset is really handy with non-fiction, because writing a blog is not that big of a deal. So if you think of it as a step, and every blog that you write, you can have in there. My book, Heartwriter, was written through whenever I was going through a spiritual journey, around 2010, and it was an accumulation of blogs that I had written for a website called Building Beautiful Bonds. And whenever that website was closing, I just pulled all of these blogs down and put them in a book. So I had this 80,000 word book already written that I just had to put together. So if you're blogging already, you probably have a lot of content as well. But if it's in your mind, if it's something you're writing about, I would spend time on setting out how you want your book to be structured, and then the content will just flow, because you've already got the knowledge in there, and then you just back it up with some facts and things. But have a conversational tone, connect with your reader as in you're having a conversation with them, is usually very effective.
Thank you. That's fabulous advice. Excellent. Now we've got some questions for you. So here we go. Emma, how do you get yourself back on track when you were having a down day? That's a great question, Emma. I'd love to hear your response, Karen.
And we all have down days, okay? I just shut up shop. I stop. And it's probably the thing I should not be doing. I should try and tick off that to-do list because it's accumulating pretty fast. But if I'm having a down day, my energy is not right to be doing the work. So I will just stop, do nothing, go to the beach, maybe even, do something with the kids just to rebalance, because you're having a down day probably because you're not feeling balanced. So whether it's some self-care that you need to do just for you, or whether it's time with your kids that you need, or whether it's you need to have a coffee with friends, there's something and you just need to do it. And then the next day, 100%, I am so productive. I will pump out 4 times more than I would have tried to struggle out the day before. And that I do this all of the time. And I always go very slow on school holidays. That's one of I do a few things from home, but not very much. They're usually my writing times. I do a lot of writing in school holidays. My kids are playing in the backyard. I have my laptop. Happy days. We're all happy. So I make it work for me, because that is why I have my own business, is because I can make that work for me. And I'm not, tied down to the restraints of having to be there 9 to 5, all of the time. So I make it work around me. But if I'm having a down day, I just stop, take that day off. Okay. The next day would be better. 100%.
Yeah, fantastic. Now, Yvette has a question, and it is, what is your tip to keep mindful when you have so much going on that you don't know where to start?
That's when you write a nice list. Get it out of your head and onto a list, okay? Because if it's in your head, it's all mixed up, it seems overwhelming. But when you get it out, and it's just a matter, it could be just 5 minutes. And I do this all of the time, Yvette, because I do have so much going on. There's some days I really do feel overwhelmed, but guaranteed, if I sit down and take those few minutes to write a comprehensive list, get everything out of my head of what I need to do, and stick it up on my wall or just keep it in my diary, and work through everything one step at a time, the list dwindles down. There was one time a few months ago I had 80 things to do. Now these weren't little things; these were huge things, like setting out. And I had to, but once I sat down and wrote them all down, it was actually a tangible thing and not just a chaos in my head. So then I could set out a plan to work through this list, and I've ticked off every box, back on track, and then I will start taking on more work and things like that. So I do it that way. I try not to take on any more than I can manage. But we all push boundaries, yes. But I try to manage it that way. Okay?
Fantastic.
Prioritize it, Yvette. Prioritize.
Prioritizing. So Karen, Jessica has a question for you, Karen. How do you stay motivated? Because
I love this question.
I imagine when you're doing a project, like a long project, it's exciting at the beginning, but somewhere in the middle, it must just sort of be like, oh, I'm kind of over this now. I want to write about something else. Like, does that happen to you? How do you stay motivated when you're working on big, long-term projects?
You think of the big goal. It's all about the end result, where you're going, and it's exciting and things, but I keep things interesting along the way. And publishing for me, and it's not just publishing, it's, I mentor people in life. I do things for myself a lot as well. But keep things interesting as much as you can, and do the work that needs to be done, yes. But when you're feeling lackluster about it, do something that's a bit more exciting to jizz it up a bit, and then get back to the work. Do you know what I mean? Just don't have it like you're just doing it all, the hard core stuff all the time. Stop, take a break, do something that's exciting, or plant a seed, maybe with an interview with somebody exciting, or just do something that enhances what you're doing, is in the greater good of the huge project you're doing. But just so that you've instigated something amazing that could happen as well. It just keeps things exciting. Like whenever we were going to our Irish castle, okay, I always bring it back to this. That was a huge project for us to pull off. Like it's flights from Australia to Ireland, it's hiring the castle, it's getting people there. It's absolutely huge and a big financial commitment. And it is scary at times, but once you focus on the goal, and we pulled it off, and once you focus on the goal and make it as exciting as possible and try to try and keep yourself motivated by doing things that motivate you personally. Know your strengths and do it that way. Okay?
Fantastic. Emma said, thank you. Wonderful advice. It resonates with me.
Awesome. I'm glad.
Now, Karen, you've got more retreats coming up. So your retreat in Ireland was a big success.
Yes.
And you've got more retreats coming up in 2018 and even in 2019. I hear you've got plans. What's going to happen at these retreats? Is it writing? Is it going through the process of publishing? What do you do at your retreat? What's involved?
I love our retreats. Not only do I get to go on a retreat, but on our retreats, our 2018 retreat is sold out. Can you believe it? Sold out. We had so much interest straight away. Amazing. So we always have a special guest that joins us. And in 2018 is going to be Jen McLeod, and she is an amazing author. So she has so much to teach us, and she's coming from over east and joining us down at Margaret River. So we set out an amazing a program of events for 5 days. And of course there's writing time, yes, but there's also time to build relationships. And whenever you're in that kind of environment with like-minded people who have connections, it's really, you're building these bonds that you can go off into your author career with, that you really feel that you've got a foundation to build upon and to build your profile upon, and you've made connections with people that can help you along the way as well. There's going to be a lot of writing workshops, and we'll do some publishing things, and Monique and I have fun things planned, as always. We do things our way, so our retreats are always different. So yes, it's awesome. So are you going to make me talk about our 2019 one? We think probably. So our 2019 one is the secret for now. Sorry. But we have an awesome location chosen. And so it takes, we don't just do it on impulse. We choose the places and we work the theme around it. So our 2019 retreat is going to be themed. But something exciting that's actually happening for me personally in 2018, that's not Serenity Press related, is that I'm launching my own brand, Karen Mc Dermott, and there's going to be a 6-month intensive transformational program in there for just a few people, and then there's going to be an awesome retreat on that as well at the end. So it's going to be very much about mindset and transformation and helping people just live the life that they love, because everybody can do it. Everybody can live the life that they love and find their balance. If they want to. Sometimes we just need somebody to believe in us, isn't it, to make it happen.
Oh, it's so inspiring, Karen. It's amazing. And I just think about when I met you back in 2015 and how much has changed for you now that, 2017, and really that's a short amount of time. It's only 2 years.
Only 2
so
years.
Your growth in that time has just been phenomenal. Phenomenal.
I look at all the things I said yes to in that time, but you would not believe the amount of things I've had to say no to. But I've said no because it didn't serve my vision. So I know that it looks that I do a lot of things, but everything that I do, I love doing, and it's with my greater vision as well. So it serves my purpose. So that's why I'm so motivated and so energized, because everything I do, I love doing. And that energy itself re-energizes you and motivates you and keeps you going as well. Do what you love, people.
Oh, fantastic. So wonderful chatting with you. We've got some comments here. Jess says, you rock, Karen. Ed says, wow, that sounds amazing. I would love to come.
It is.
And Jess said, thank you for answering her question as well. So useful.
Yeah.
So,
and I'm happy for
amazing.
anybody to write questions down below, and I will answer them if they couldn't come to the live. So, okay, and I'll pop back and answer them.
Yes. Yeah, please put your questions in if you're watching this on the replay. Karen is always very generous and answers any questions we have. So please feel free to put them in. Now we have to choose some winners. So Katie and I have a $100 gift card to give away as well.
Yay.
And you've got a copy of Making Magic Happen. So I'm just going to have a look. We've just had one more question. So while I'm looking.
Mindful Magic is
Mindful Magic.
Hold on.
Sorry, did I get
Here we are. Grab one.
Oh, you found it. Yay. All right. We do have another question for you. Peter Whitney says, is the transformation stuff just for authors? So this new program that you're talking about under the Karen Mc Dermott brand, can you tell us a bit more about how it works?
Yeah, no, it's not just for authors, and that's why it's not even just for businesses. It can be just for life. No, it's for anybody who wants to have an absolute transformation in their life. Because I have tested so many things, and I have learned so much along my journey that I can help others to create the life that they love in so many ways, because it's not just about writing a book, or it's not just about creating a business. It's about having an amazing life and an amazing experience of life whenever we're here. And if you work, like it takes 21 days to create a positive habit, and with guidance and with loving intention and with absolute focused intention on who you are as a person and how you can grow, then yeah, it's amazing what can happen in 6 months. Yeah. No, it's definitely not just for authors. But you never know, you might find your story in there and write a book about it. It could be really good.
I love that you say that it's not just for authors and you might become an author, because I know that at conference this year you did your workshop, and in the workshop one of the activities was that we had to write down what book we would write, and there were people in the audience who had never thought about writing a book who came up with great ideas that day and have now got their book ready to go.
Well, I've published Kate's book from Park Life Graphics. I've already published her book, already written it, had it, and it's been published already. And that was only August. It's amazing what can happen in a short period of time.
You certainly are all about making magic happen, Karen.
It's all about magic, but you have to believe in magic, please. You have to believe in it.
Yes, definitely. Okay, so I will give my gift card. I'm going to give that to Yvette, whose question was about mindfulness, which I thought was great because your book is called Mindful Magic, and she asked you about your top tips for being mindful. So I'm going to give her my gift card. Congratulations, Yvette! Yay! Who would you like to give a prize to, Karen? Do you want to choose, or will I?
Well, I can't choose. I can't see who.
You can't pick one. Okay.
If you name out a few names, and I'll pick one.
Okay, we had a question from Emma Richards, Jessica Simon. Emma asked, "How do you get yourself back on track when you're having a down day?" Jess asked, "How do you stay motivated?" And then, of course, Peter's question we've just had: is it just for authors, the transformation stuff?
Okay, we'll go with Emma.
Emma, yay! Congratulations, Emma.
There's a copy for you.
Oh, yay! Yay! Fantastic.
And guys, I'm having an online launch tomorrow for my book over at the Mindful Magic book launch. It's a global thing, and I'll be having some giveaways in there as well, and I'm giving some mindful stones away, because to have a tangible thing to squeeze and hold and have that energy in it is a huge thing as well.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you so much for being our guest today, Karen. It's been wonderful chatting with you. And everyone who's watching, thank you for tuning in. Sorry, Karen.
Thank you so much, everybody, for popping in and saying hi. And thanks, Peace, for having me. And hi, Katie.
Hello. And I just wanted to remind everyone, next Thursday we're chatting with Danielle Stearman from Nibbly Bits. So that's going to be a lot of fun as well.
Yeah.
As well as that, we're doing an 8-day challenge at the moment, and we've talked about our superpowers and we've talked about our opportunities. But next Monday, we're talking about our aspirations. So that's the part of business planning where you get to look at the rest of your life, not just your business. And I think as a business owner, particularly like if you have a family, as a woman, you are looking at your business as a whole and how it's going to work with everything else you're doing. So it's a really important aspect of your planning. And so I'm really looking forward to doing that with everyone on Monday. So hopefully you can come as well, Karen.
I will. That's awesome. Your videos are awesome. I love it. Your content's amazing.
Thank you. Well, thank you so much for chatting with us, Karen. You're just so inspiring, and I'm just amazed and so excited for you by the incredible growth that you've had and just the love that you put out through Serenity Press and your Making Magic Academy and everything that you do. And I just feel so grateful to know you. So thank you so much.
Oh, thank you, guys. You're a huge part of my journey, so I'm really grateful to you too.
Yay. Okay, well, enjoy the rest of your day, Karen, and all the best for your launch tomorrow. I'm going to come along and cheer you on. It's going to be great. Very exciting.
5 events this week, and then I'm taking a break.
You deserve one. It's been a good year.
Yeah.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.